Time to talk about an action thriller. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Gamer, starring Gerard Butler, that came out in 2009. It was released by Lionsgate September 3rd, 2009. I was starring Gerard Butler, like I said. And it was written, produced, and directed by Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor. Now, Mark Neveldine worked with Brian Taylor on a lot of things. And they've done like Crank 1 and 2, uh, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, Vatican Tapes, and Pathology. And Brian Taylor has also worked on some solo stuff like Mom and Dad, Midnight Meat Train, Dutch Last Cab to Darwin. And this, believe it or not, this film had a $50 million budget, somewhere around there, and it was a box office failure when it came out because it only made about $42 million. Now, Gamer, if you're not familiar with this film, it's it's basically not too distant in the future. Video games like Call of Duty and stuff like that. This one's called Slayers. In the film, are prisoners have embedded microchips in their brain, and where gamers can control them and actually go off and kill people in the same way as in a Call of Duty game. And it gets to the point where there's a lot of diversity and controversy over it. So you get like the craziness, like just pay-per-view battles and stuff like that. This big business over it. People who are death thrown, and then there's also the stipulation: if they win 30 battles, they get let go for free, even though they've been charged for life for their crimes. And and then there's also like a lot of throwaway characters, like a couple characters where they're just there to help progress the help be like custodians and stuff in the background, and if they survive one round, they get set free. They've done like smaller crimes and stuff, and it's developed by this one developer who's also developed some sort of like sim sort of simulator sort of thing where people can control other people, and that's their job, is to be these sims and do sexual acts and stuff like that. Whatever they fantasize, the controllers fantasize about, they can do in this world. And they sort of collide because Gerard Butler's character starts thinking on his own. The controls aren't really working for him, and he manages to escape the Slayers compound basically and go and find his wife, who's actually in The Sims, and his daughter, and he's on a killing spree trying to figure out where they are and trying to get to them and try to get his life back together. And it's very action based, this film. There's a lot of random action scenes, a lot of pointless stuff too, where it's just there so people can die, and enhance the action sequences. They're all like 10 minutes long and stuff like that. It's pretty well done and but it's pretty like that shoddy quick cuts, sort of like what you see in the Saw films and stuff. And then when they try to do like the family aspects and like that it's kind of a little muddled and discombobulating for the actual story. And then most of it is just like a huge chase. They're trying to find him and stop him from doing what he's doing. There's also a hacker involved, played by Ludacris, who helps him escape. And they get like the big, most well advanced gamer, which is like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old guy, and he controls him and tries to help him get to his wife and stuff like that. It was an interesting premise. It's pretty, seems pretty quickly put together and stuff like that, though. It's very shoddy. A lot of the dialogue's kind of pointless and stuff. There's not a whole much story. Like, the concept was good. The visuals and stuff still look not bad right now. They are starting to get like a little dated, but overall, the story doesn't really hold up. There's a lot of plot holes and like random things that aren't explained and things that you just don't really need to see. There's a random dance number near the climax scene and stuff like that. It's just like crazy stuff they thought they should throw into it. It was sort of like Crank, where Crank wasn't really like a well thought out film, but there's still more of a story and a motive and stuff for that character to go off and do what he did. This one was just like he had a motive, but it's very generic and it wasn't very well thought out, and it was just to be explosive action constantly and stuff. I think they're gunning for a popcorn flick, which this is exactly what it is. If you're not, it's not going to change the game or anything like that. Obviously, it never did, but it was definitely showing off what technology can do back in the day. That's why I had such a high budget to show off this new technology and stuff that where to propel these action films, and a lot of the CG and stuff is slowly getting outdated. So that's a problem with these type of films. So here, also the acting is okay at best for this for a high budget film. It's kind of disappointing. Now, when this first came out, I saw it in theaters and I loved it, but I was also way younger. So, but for what watching it now, like it was okay. It's mediocre at best. Almost tipping into the so bad it's good category, but it's not terrible. You can still watch it. It's a good popcorn flick, like I said. But yeah, and I do got to give it props. It has a really kick-ass soundtrack, and obviously anything with like Marilyn Manson and or like metal and stuff like that, I'm obviously going to be like a proud supporter for the music and the film and stuff like that. So yeah, that's another plus. I do like a lot of action in my movies, but I do like a little bit of story, so I could have something to grasp onto while I'm watching. That makes me want to continue watching the film, not just see a pile of action, pointless family drama, and then some pointless action regarding the family drama, and then so on and so forth. It was kind of, all right, but everything was done before in this. It's just Crank mixed with Taken, mixed with a couple other random films smashed together, and try to make it into something new, which they sort of did, sort of didn't. So it's kind of middle ground for me. Also, it is kind of a ripoff of The Running Man. I know a lot of people have said that so about it, but Gamer is still fun. It's just if you're going in there looking for a good story to follow and everything like that, it's probably not for you. But if you just want to watch some whole pile of action, a lot of people, big shoot 'em ups and stuff, and a lot of good car chases, this one you'll obviously enjoy. So yeah, with that, all that being said, I'm going to give Gamer a 2.5 out of 5. It's right down the middle for me. It's just your typical action film of the time period. Yeah, with a little concept, but they didn't utilize that to the full extent. And it also kind of nowadays will show off like gamers as just being big fat slobs. There's a lot of misogynistic stuff, sexual stuff that they try to emphasize in there, like the taboo sort of subject matter of gamers in film, or would be, which is like a cliche thing. So, yeah, 2.5 out of 5 seems fair for me. It's your generic action film. That's all that needs to be said. So, yeah, but if you haven't heard of this film, you want to check it out, or if you want to relive it for some reason, there's a trailer link down below, so you can check that out. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram, which is always linked down below, where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. So, what the film title and a hashtag and the subgenre film is always on there on the video clip too. So, in case it's something you don't like, you're aware of it. So, make sure you follow me on Instagram to stay in the loop. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. Did you like this movie? Did you absolutely hate it? I'd love to hear your opinions on it. And if you have any films, whether action, horror, or whatever, they want to hear my opinions on, comment those down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. And also make sure you subscribe, so hopefully you can find some decent movies that you probably never thought of watching or stuff like that, and try to get some light shine onto some other hidden gems, instead of like majority of these reviewers concentrating on the popular stuff. So yeah, so make sure you subscribe, and I guess have fun gaming. Hopefully no one ends up controlling you to kill people and stuff like that, but yeah, who knows, the future's not that far. So yeah, till the next one, cheers.